right, today we're moving on to chapter 2, which is we're actually getting into the geometry concepts now, starting with parallel lines, okay? Today is going to be a review, okay? But you haven't seen this stuff for 2 or 3 years, okay? So you have seen this before. It might start ringing a bell to you, okay? But starting off with parallel lines, on this picture, notate some things, okay? These two lines right here, those are our parallel lines, okay? You don't have to draw on that yet. Those are your parallel lines. What do we know about parallel lines? They never intersect. What did you learn in algebra about parallel lines?
They go on forever.
They have the same slope. Yep, parallel lines have the same slope, which makes them never intersect. Okay, this line right here, this is kind of new. Maybe label it one time. This is your transversal line. Okay, your transversal line is the line that cuts through both parallel lines. Okay, so that line's called the transversal. Okay, so we're dealing with two parallel lines intersected by a transversal. Okay, you can leave that note on your notes. I'm going to erase it so I have more room. With angle pair relationships with parallel lines and a transversal, there are technically 4 different angle pair relationships, hence the 4 boxes. Okay, and then we're going to add a 5th one that isn't as important, but you're going to use it a lot. Okay, so this first one is going to be alternate interior. Okay, when you hear the term alternate, what do you think of? Opposite, switches. When you hear the word alternate internet, that's not what that's supposed to say. Alternate interior is what that's supposed to say. When you hear the word interior, what's that mean? Inside, right? Okay, so I'm going to deal with this interior word first. These two parallel lines, think that they create a box. Okay, so interior would be both angles are inside the box. Okay, and then the word alternate deals with our transversal line. Alternate means it's on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so let's put an angle in there. If I put, well, since it's interior, I know they're on the inside. So if I put X in this angle right here, where would Y go if it's alternate interior? Right here. Other side, yep. So Y would go here. These are alternate interior angles. Let me get rid of that box so you can see it a little better. So if I put X here, its alternate interior angle is Y. Again, they're both on the inside of the parallel lines, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay? Looking at those two angles, do they look like they're the same angle measure, or do they look different? They are the same. What's the word for same in geometry? Congruent. Yep. So these have congruent measures. Okay. So alternate interior angles have congruent measures. Next one we're going to talk about is alternate, what do you think? Alternate exterior. Alternate exterior. Exterior means outside. So outside the parallel lines, alternate means opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so if I put X here, where is Y going to go if it's alternate exterior? Bottom right. Is that what you guys were thinking? Okay. Alternate exterior, both on the outside, and they're on opposite sides. Okay. Do those two angles look the same, or do they look different? They are the same. So the word for same is congruent measures. We're going to call same side interior. Okay, I know that's a mouthful. Okay, we're going to refer to same side interior as SSI. SSI for short. Your book or IXL or some other things, maybe even ACT, they might call this also consecutive interior. So make that note also. Consecutive interior. Same side interior, consecutive interior mean the same thing. Okay? So, breaking this down, interior means inside the parallel lines. Same side means same side of the Transversal line, yep. So if I put X here, where's Y gonna go? Right below it, right? Right here? Same side interior. Now, do those two angles look the same? No, they're not the same. What do you think they are? How do you think we know what the angles are? They add up to a specific number. Yep, they are. They are supplementary angles. Supplementary, which means they add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so same side interior or consecutive interior means that they add up to 180 degrees. Okay? So if angle Y is 60, how would I find out what angle X is? Subtract from 180. Yep. Good. What do you think our last one is? It's not. I just wanted to hear you say that. It's not same side exterior. There's really no such thing for the specific relationship. Okay? Now, you might be like, well, it is this thing because I can do this, and that's same side exterior. Okay? I get that. But for our 4 relationships we're going to talk about, that's not one of them. Okay? So our last one actually is called corresponding. Now, does that word tell me anything? Like, does it tell me anything about the inside? Does it tell me anything about opposite or anything like that? No. Okay, so corresponding is a little bit different. Do we have any guesses on what corresponding could be? What?
The same top.
Good guess.
Is it when one's up top and then right below it inside?
Close. One angle is on the inside, one angle is on the outside. Now, how they're going to relate is if X is here, the corresponding angle to that is Y. Okay? So X is on the inside, Y is on the outside. Notice they're on the same side. Okay? So one's on the inside, one's on the outside. They're on the same side. Somebody last period asked, well, what if you put Y here? Is that also considered corresponding? No, because you want both parallel lines involved. Okay, if I just have X and Y here, are they dealing with both parallel lines? No. Okay, so these relationships rely on 2 parallel lines, not just one. Okay. Do those 2 angles look the same or do they look different? They are the same, so that means they are congruent. Okay, a couple more that aren't considered the top 4 angle pair relationships. Oh, that was a really bad line. Here, so I have my two parallel lines and transversal. What's going to pop up a lot is our vertical angles. Okay, vertical angles, think of the word vertex. What does vertex mean? How can you describe a vertex? A point, right? How many points do we have right now? I see 1 here. Is there another one? 2. Okay. Vertical angles, they're cutting across the vertex. So with vertical angles, your vertical angle to X would be Y because it's cutting across. Now notice this one has nothing to do with both parallel lines. Do you see that? Okay. That's why it's not considered an angle pair relationship. Okay. But vertical angles, do you think they are congruent or are they different? They are congruent. Yep. Vertical angles are congruent. Good. So vertical is they're cutting across the vertex on one parallel line. One more I'm going to talk about is adjacent. Does anyone know what adjacent means? Any guesses as to what adjacent means? Adjacent means they're right next to each other. They share the same line. Okay, so maybe make that note. Adjacent means next to each other. Okay, so if I put X here, what angle is right next to it? Is that angle right next to it? Mm-hmm. It is. Okay, is there another angle that is right next to it? Right below it, right? So that could also be an example of adjacent angles. Okay. So adjacent angles, it can be any angle as long as it's touching the other one. Okay, so adjacent, think right next to. Mr. Saxer always said La Casina, Dollar General. because they are right next to each other. In York, does everyone make that connection? La Casina, Dollar General, they're right next to each other. Those are adjacent buildings to each other. Okay, so same thing with angles. If they're right next to each other, they are adjacent. Looking at those adjacent angles, are they the same or are they different? They are different. So that means they would add up to 180, so they're supplementary. And then remember, supplementary means add up to 180. I'm going to take you back up to our main 4 right here. I want you to talk with someone sitting next to you. Which one is the odd one out? Which one doesn't belong? Or which one's different from all the others? Which one doesn't belong? Which one's not like all the others? I agree, same side interior. Why? Because of the supplementary. Okay. Did anyone say anything else? No. You all said same side? Why could I argue corresponding? One's inside and one's outside. So I could also argue corresponding is the one that doesn't belong, kind of the oddball. Okay? So both of those are correct. Remembering the different relationships between the two. Okay? Go ahead and flip your notes to the second page, example 1. Okay, we're going to do number 4. Okay, I'm going to give you one part of this diagram. If I tell you angle 1 is 120 degrees, I want you to go find all the other angles. Just knowing that angle 1 is 120 degrees. Go find all the other angles using the angle pair relationships we've been talking about. Okay, let me get some of us started. What is an angle? How can I get some of us started? Vertical is congruent. What's vertical to 1? 3. So if we know vertical angles are congruent, if 1's 120, what's 3? 120. Okay. Let's do one more together. What else can I figure out? 1 and 7. Why 7? Alternate exterior. What do we know about alternate exterior angles? Congruent. So this is also 120. Okay. See how we're using some of those relationships? Okay. Continue getting the last 5. What else did you guys do? Is there another one that's 120? 6, right? 6 is 120. Are any more 120? Yes, sir. What did you guys put for angle 5? It is 60. How did you get 60? 120 from 180. What am I going to know about all the other angles? They're also 60. Okay. What's a pattern that you notice? It's like jumping back and forth. Okay. Notice there's no 120s right next to each other. Does that make sense? Because remember, if they're right next to each other, that means they're adjacent. They add up to 180. Okay. So whenever you fill out a whole parallel lines transversal, all 8 angles, okay, you're only going to have a possibility of 2 numbers. Okay, just like our 120 and 60. And how many should there be of each? 4. Okay, so you're always only going to have 2 numbers depending on where they go. Okay? Questions so far? Together. Or letter A, but 4. Okay? So if I'm talking, we're going to go through all the angle pair relationships. Okay, so I'm going to start with alternate interior. What angle is alternate interior to angle 4 here? What's its alternate interior angle? 5. It is 5, yep. What do we know about alternate interior angles? As in, are they the same or are they supplementary? They are the same, so we're going to say they're congruent to each other. The congruent symbol is an equal sign with a little squiggly on top. Okay. Our next angle pair relationship, give me another one. Alternate exterior. For angle, so we're going just from angle 4. Does angle 4 have an alternate exterior? Why are you saying no? Right, because 4 is inside, so there is no such thing as an alternate exterior for 4. Okay. What is another angle pair relationship? Yep, same side interior or SSI. What is same side interior to angle 4? Yep. What do we know about same side interior angles? Are they congruent or supplementary, which means add up to 180. What's another angle pair relationship? Corresponding. What is corresponding to angle 4? Remember, one's inside, one's outside. 8. It is 8. Yep. What do we know about corresponding angles? They're the same, so they're congruent. Yep. I know they weren't one of our 4, but what about vertical angles? What's vertical to angle 4? 2. And what do we know about vertical angles? Congruent. And then the other one we said was adjacent. What is adjacent to angle 4? 1 is adjacent. And what else? And 3 are adjacent. What do we know about those? Are they congruent or do they add up to 180? Add up to 180. Yep. Awesome. Go ahead and do that same process for angle 7. Your letter B. Alternate interior to angle 7 here. What's alternate interior to angle 7? There is none. Why is there none? Because it's on the exterior, so there's no way we can have an alternate interior. Okay. What about alternate exterior to angle 7? It is 1. What do we know about those two angles? They're congruent. Good. What about same side interior? None. Same reason as for alternate interior. It's not on the inside, so there can't be a same side interior. Corresponding. What do we think? I heard 3. Did anybody say anything different? Okay, it is angle 3. What do we know about corresponding angles? Corresponding angles are congruent. Remember, the oddball out for adding to 180 is SSI. What about vertical to angle 7? Angle 6. And what do you know about those? Congruent. With vertical angles, is there any other option for number 7? For a vertical angle, it's 6, it's only 1. Some of you are nodding your heads. 6 is the only vertical angle. Okay, there's only 1 vertical angle for each angle. What about adjacent?
Yes.
8 and 5.
I heard 5 and 8. What do you know about these two? Add up to 180. Yep. Awesome. Okay, one more thing I want to look at. Go ahead and flip to the front page of your notes. Do you have that diagram at the top?